So day 3 is all about humor. Really, humor is this kind of secret sauce. And if you manage to dial this attribute in right, it can make your videos feel very fresh when people watch them. So look, you can have a video that's authentic. It can convey emotive speech. But at the end of the day, sometimes they're just very serious. It can be kind of intense, like really serious. And without this kind of gentle sense of humor, not necessarily all the time, but at least you don't take things too seriously, right? You don't take yourself too seriously. And by having this attribute in your arsenal, what you're able to do is create engaging and compelling videos to watch. So I'm not necessarily talking about, somebody who's kind of laugh out loud funny. It's kind of more somebody who is just chilled, lighthearted, and not taking anything too seriously. You see, the problem is, and what tends to happen, is a lot of people start to focus on the authenticity and talking from a place of emotion, or just talking about a specific subject and just being very logical in the idea or whatever they're doing. And sometimes they can just forget this very simple principle: life is not too serious. It's really not. Genuinely, it's really not. You can make fun of things, you can make fun of yourself, and have this understanding that nothing about talking to the camera is actually serious. Now, if you can ingrain that mindset within your videos, it can truly change the way your videos come across. So look, by now you should feel slightly more comfortable when talking to camera. And the great thing is that humor ultimately comes from being comfortable. So if we could just feel really comfortable in our environment and just feel nice and content, nice and relaxed when we are talking to the camera, then our natural sense of humor can actually come out. That is genuinely how it works. The more comfortable you are, the more free in the environment you feel, the more natural you feel, and the more your humor will come out. So making sure you grasp that concept is essential. So like, the worst thing you can do is try and forcefully be funny. I don't want you to confuse humor with trying to tell some type of joke to the camera. That's not what we're trying to do here. And it's a common misconception people have when they start to think about this attribute. Remember, natural humor is derived from comfort. Okay, cool. So hopefully you've understood that concept. Now here's another concept to try and understand, right? Usually humor is associated to a social setting. Usually you say something funny, someone laughs, or somebody else says something funny and you laugh, and it's kind of this reciprocated interaction between two people. However, when you're talking to camera, how do you go about conveying humor when it's just you and the camera? And that's the trick. So how do we get around this? Again, literally, it's not about trying to be funny, but it's about getting into this certain state that you realize that what you're doing, genuinely, it's not that serious. It's not that serious at all. So you've got to find this place of kind of lightheartedness and understanding that it really isn't that serious. So what that state of mind allows you to do is to not take yourself too seriously. And what actually starts to emerge is this very kind of cheeky and confident personality. So imagine you're in detention at school. What would you actually be doing there? Realistically, you'll just be trying to kill time. And then what does that essentially lead to? You basically start fucking around. You start making jokes, you start throwing shit at each other, and essentially you're just bored, right? You want to try and take that type of attitude and start bringing that natural humor and that almost relaxed and comfortable state where you're able to understand that talking to the camera is not that serious.